If you've ever seen Star Wars, you've seen those laser weapons light up the screen for what, decades? That was pure Hollywood fantasy. Well, guess what? A race is on to turn that science fiction into a battlefield fact. And Israel just announced it has done exactly that. They've developed the world's first operational laser weapon system. But when you picture a laser weapon, you're probably thinking of a lightsaber, right? Well, this isn't that. It's something way, way bigger.
So yeah, Israel has officially unveiled the Iron Beam, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a groundbreaking laser defense system that looks like it's straight out of a movie. And believe me, the announcement sent some serious shockwaves through the world of military tech.
Okay, so let's dive into this. Because a laser weapon, what problem does that actually solve? I mean, it sounds cool, but what's the point? Well, to get why this thing is such a revolutionary solution, you first have to understand the old, and I mean incredibly expensive problem it was designed to fix.
For years, right, Israel's been protected by the world-famous Iron Dome. And look, it's an absolute marvel of engineering. But here's the thing. Its adversaries found a crack in the armor. They figured out a strategy. Don't try to beat it with better tech, try to bleed it dry with economics. So the tactic is pretty simple, actually. You just fire hundreds, maybe even thousands of cheap, kind of crude rockets all at once. The goal isn't really to hit anything specific. It's just to totally overwhelm the system. Now, don't get me wrong. The Iron Dome is incredibly accurate. We're talking like 99% of threats get taken out. But that 1% that slips through, that can still be devastating. And the real weakness? The Achilles heel? The absolutely staggering cost to operate it. And this right here, this simple comparison really gets to the heart of the whole economic problem. You've got an attacker launching a rocket that costs, next to nothing to make. But to stop it, the defender has to fire a super sophisticated interceptor missile, costing hundreds of thousands of dollars. See the problem? You can win every single battle in the sky and still be losing the economic war on the ground. That was the puzzle Israel had to solve. So, what's the answer? Enter the Iron Beam. This thing is a direct response to that massive strategic and economic challenge. It's a weapon that just completely flips the script on the whole cost of defense. So what exactly is this thing? Well, at its core, the Iron Beam is a high-energy laser. It uses a really focused beam of light to literally heat up and destroy incoming threats, rockets, drones, you name it, while they're still in the air, long before they can hit their target. Now, the physics might sound super complex, but the basic idea is something a lot of us actually played with as kids. You remember taking a magnifying glass on a sunny day and focusing the light to burn a piece of paper? The Iron Beam does the exact same thing, just on a ridiculously massive scale. It's basically an incredibly powerful torch that can melt a target from miles and miles away. 100 kilowatts. That's the kind of power we're talking about here. And the real breakthrough wasn't just creating a laser that powerful. The truly brilliant part was figuring out how to keep all that energy focused into a tight beam over huge distances. We're talking up to 100 kilometers. And the way it works is just beautifully simple. It's a two-step process, a lot like the Iron Dome, actually. First, you've got radar that detects and tracks whatever's coming in. Once it's locked on, step 2, the system fires that concentrated, high-energy laser beam. It just keeps heating the rocket or drone until it basically burns up and is completely destroyed, right there in the sky. Okay, but look, the tech itself is only half the story. The real revolution here is what this means for the battlefield. This is where the Iron Beam stops being just a piece of clever tech and becomes a genuine, honest-to-God game changer. It fundamentally rewrites the rules of air defense. And you can really see the difference when you put the two systems side by side. The Iron Dome's cost per shot? Massive. The Iron Beam's? Just a few dollars in electricity. Think about that. One fires at Mach speed, which is fast, but the other moves at the speed of light. And maybe the biggest deal of all, the Iron Dome has a limited number of missiles, a limited magazine. The Iron Beam? It's basically unlimited, as long as you've got power. So yeah, the crucial point is this. Just like former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett said, they can now neutralize a threat for the price of a few bucks, saving just enormous sums of money on every single interception. The entire economic equation of warfare has been turned on its head. The attacker's cheap rocket is now being met by a defense that's even cheaper. Wild. But hold on. This huge technological leap isn't happening in a vacuum. Israel might be the first to get an operational system on the field, but believe me, they are far from alone in this chase. A whole new kind of global arms race has officially begun.
All the major world powers are pouring money into developing their own directed energy weapons. You've got the United States, you've got China, they're both deep into their own research. And India's DRDO is actively developing its own system, codenamed Durga 2, which is also aiming for that 100 kilowatt laser benchmark.
And you can bet this kind of tech isn't going to stay in one place for long. Israel has already said it might be willing to export the Iron Beam to what it calls friendly nations. And if that happens, it could radically change the defense calculations for countries all over the globe.
And all of this, it brings us to one final, really profound question. For centuries, defense has always been expensive, it's been reactive, and it's been limited. But what happens when that changes? What happens when the cost of defending your skies drops to almost zero? How does the very nature of conflict, of deterrence, how does the nature of war itself change?